Hi everybody, it's Royal Ruby. We're here at the campsite. This is my second day, day number 2 of our fall winter camping trip. And the good news is we didn't have to use the Mr. Buddy heater last night at all. We did use it a little bit this morning. I only used my electric blanket a little bit last night. It was down to 39 degrees, but we were quite cozy in Ruby. I think the temperature was 64 inside the van when we went to bed, so we were quite comfortable. But as promised, I'm going to do my brownie recipe for you in the camper oven. I've preheated the camper oven. It's ready to go. I believe the recipe says 350 degrees. But as I told you guys before, you don't want to have that oven up to 350. You're better to keep it down around 200 when you're baking, because if not, you'll burn the bottom of the pan. And cook it for about 5 minutes longer, but just do that, because that's the safe way to do it. That worked for me on my fat burning chocolate chip cookie recipe. Okay guys, so here we go. You start out with, as usual, oh, I have an ant in my bowl. When you're camping, you have to make sure you don't have any bugs inside your bowls. So yeah, you're gonna mix your wet ingredients and then you're gonna mix that into your dry ingredients. So first you're gonna beat together your eggs. So you have 2 eggs. And then you're gonna beat in your coconut sugar. Well, here's what I did, guys. I just mixed all of my dry ingredients before I left into a bag. And I'm just gonna add it all in here like this. I know that's not the way the instructions say to do it, but when you're camping, you kind of improvise. But in this bag, you can see I marked brownie dry ingredients. I have in my cacao, let's see, it was 2/3 cup of cacao, 3/4 cup of almond flour, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt was in this little bag. So I added that. And now you're gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla. When I'm camping, guys, a teaspoon for me is a capful. You can never have too much vanilla. So I just made a mess. All right, and you're also gonna do a 1/2 cup of melted coconut oil. Now I've been buying the organic cooking oil, coconut oil, that's already melted when I camp. That way I don't have to deal with melting it. So we're doing a 1/2 cup of this in there like that. And a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Yeah, this is my go-to measuring cup because it has all your measurements. It has ounces, it has cups. That's 1/4 cup. And then you just stir it all together. So this mixture is paleo friendly. As you guys know, that's pretty much how I cook. I don't cook with flour or sugar. All of my recipes are flourless and sugarless. I use a sweetener like maple syrup or coconut sugar or monk fruit. You just mix this up. You can see it's chocolatey. I buy my cacao at a place that's an organic market. Just gonna mix that up. It says here, you stir it all together until combined. Guys, my oven is already preheated, so now you're just gonna drop this in here to your baking pan, which I have a Teflon baking pan. But I also put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of it. You could use parchment paper, but when you're camping, just use the easiest thing that you have. There we go. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I have a couple of these chocolate chips that I think I'm going to press down onto the top. Yeah, I'm just going to put a couple of these on the top here. The recipe doesn't call for it, but it'll make it chocolatier. And then I have some sprinkles that I'm going to use just to give it some color. Okay, there they are. They're ready to go in the oven. So now I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see me putting them in the oven. Here we are at the camping oven. Now you can see it's up to 200. I had to turn it down because it was all the way up to 400 degrees. And I turned the flame down a little bit because I learned my lesson from making my chocolate chip cookies that if you cook at 350, which is what the recipe calls for, you are going to burn your bottom of your baked goods. So I turned it back. Now I think I'm going to turn it up a little again. Bring it up just a little bit. Open the oven. And here we go.
It's 219.
219. They're going in. Now I didn't check my propane to see how much propane I have. Hopefully I have enough. But I'm turning it up now. Okay guys, it's 2:19. I'll be back to you. This recipe is supposed to cook for about 20 minutes in a regular conventional oven, but I'll be back and let you know when they're ready to come out, how long it took, and what temperature I cooked them at, okay? Okay guys, I just took them out of the oven.
It's 249.
It's 2:49, so I took them out at 2:48. So I left them in an extra 10 minutes at about 200, 250. Because I did not want to burn the bottom of the brownies, which is what happened the first batch of chocolate chip cookies. So as you can see all the holes where I poked all the toothpicks in there. The toothpick is coming out clean. And there is some cooking time after you take things out of the oven, guys, so keep that in mind. When you make a brownie or any kind of a baked good, usually there's, a resting period of about 5 to 10 minutes, especially with a brownie because it's got a lot of chocolate, so you want all that to kind of rest. So I'm going to let these sit for about 10 minutes and then we're going to cut into these babies. And they don't look like they got burned on the edges. They look pretty good, but yeah, they look really good. I want to eat them now. But these are really healthy. That's the really good thing about these. There's no gluten in this recipe. There's no sugar. There is maple syrup, which is a natural sweetener. And there is almond flour, which is very healthy and gluten-free. And there is cacao, which is, it has no sugar in it either. It's a really natural product from cacao beans, and it's really good for you. And then it has 2 eggs. It has some baking soda, it has some salt, I used sea salt, and vanilla, so that's about it. And then I just put some of those 72% cacao chips on top. I kind of pressed them down on top and sprinkled them with a little bit of sprinkles because I had them in my pantry and I thought it would make it look a little festive. I think it's awesome. So yeah guys, stay tuned. We're gonna be cutting these puppies in about 10 minutes and I'll give you a bite. I wish I could give you a bite for real. But yeah, I'll let you experience it. Okay? See you in a few minutes. Okay guys, we're back and it's been about 5 minutes actually because I can't wait any longer because they smell so wonderful. So I began cutting into these brownies. And now I'm gonna take one out. Here it is. It's beautiful. You can see the cake. I'm just gonna have to cut, you know, 2 of these brownies because I know I'm gonna want more than one. There we go. And I'm just gonna cover them up so they don't get any flies or anything on them. But there they are. There are the easy brownies. Now these were from an online recipe. They still look like they need to cool a little bit, but I'm gonna bite into it. They're really chocolatey, and I think they still need to cool a little bit longer. Or not. They're really good. They're fudgy. You know how brownies sometimes are fudgy and sometimes they're cake-like? This is a fudgy cake-like brownie. You would never know that I made them with almond flour. Because I know some of you tell me that your kids don't like that flavor. And mine don't like stevia. But when I use maple syrup or coconut sugar, they never say anything. If I use stevia, they can taste it. But they don't complain about the almond flour. Or the... Okay, so this is brownie number 2, and I don't care. My Lord. I can't believe I made these in a camper oven at my campsite. So yeah, guys, that's my video for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. When my son comes tomorrow, we're gonna make pizza, and I'm gonna do a pizza video. But this was the brownie video, and I hope you liked it. I'm gonna put the recipe below for you guys to be able to do my recipe. Some of you don't like paleo recipes. You might just want to use your regular ingredients. Just Google a recipe for brownies, and it doesn't matter which one it is. Stick it in your camper oven. But remember, you want to take your heat down and bake it a little longer, and then you won't get the burnt bottom at the bottom of your pan. Some people just follow the recipe to a T, and then you are going to get a burnt product. So keep that in mind. Happy camping, guys. Happy glamping. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.